Good afternoon, class. I am Specialist Luis Alberto Chamorro Martinez, and I will be giving a class on lifelong leadership. The overall classification of this class is unclassified. Task conditions and standards are as follows. Task: develop knowledge on lifelong learning. Conditions: we are in a classroom setting, learning from the instructor myself on the things that revolve around lifelong learning, and the standard is take as much as you can from this class and apply it to your life. Risk assessment for this class is very low. Watch out for water bottles, chairs, or any underlying wires that you may trip over. If you want to go to the bathroom or get water, please do so in a quiet fashion and come back as quickly as possible. We'll begin class with talking about what is lifelong learning. The answer to that question is lifelong learning is taking every day and trying to learn something new that you can apply to your life. Even if that something is something bad, something happens that frustrates you to no end and you can't stop thinking about it. Take a deep breath and think, what can I learn from it and how can I be better next time? This concept of lifelong learning should be important to everybody, but it should be most important to yourself as an individual to think, how can I be better? Because if you think about that, you'll benefit the whole team. And a lot of people are thinking, well, learning is something difficult. Learning is something boring or hard, or something that a lot of people don't want to do because they don't want to put in the time and effort. But to be lifelong learning, you don't have to start big. You don't have to start going to school. You don't have to start going to training. You simply can start by reading an article, asking your mentor for advice or counseling, or you can go up a step and take a college class. You can even be online. Online classes tend to be easier than in-person classes, and you still save yourself some time. Then from there, you can take a full semester of school and then go for that associate's, that bachelor's, that master's, or that doctorate. On the flip side of that, you can think, okay, what do I want to do as a career when I get out of the military, or what can I do and go to school for or train on now that will help me in my career? You can go to that vocational training, to work, to repair AC units or be a mechanic. Or in the military, if you want to just, work on your military career, first and foremost, then take those classes, take those additional classes for your MOS specific and to help the company, because whatever you do towards your MOS or towards, the company proficiency puts you in good lighting with your superiors. Even today, this concept of lifelong learning is important in the military. If you look at AIT, they're no longer just dead by PowerPoint. They follow the standard of PowerPoint to get the thought of the learning in your head, and then they take you out so that you can get some hands-on training. So you learn, you practice, you assess the skills, and once you pass, you go to your unit, you restart that cycle, you learn, you practice, and you assess within yourself, and you become that E5, that team leader, that squad leader, and then you mentor. And mentoring is one of the best ways you can learn, and one of the best ways, to take that information out and be a good leader. So lifelong learning, it's a lot, and it can help improve your career. It improves those around you. It improves your team, your squad, your family, your friends. This is something that a lot of people should internalize. Like I said, every day doesn't have to start with going to college class. It can start with yourself. Just learning a little bit about yourself, and at the end of the day, the more you become a lifelong learner, the more you learn about yourself, who you are, what you want to be, and what you want to do with your life. There's a few different approaches that you can take that I see as the most acceptable or the most important. One, look for that mentorship from your leaders. Say, hey, Sergeant, if you're looking at a religious leader, Sir, Sheikh, whatever the case may be, and say, hey, what can I do to be better in this aspect of my life? What can I learn more from? And then from there, you take it and run with it. You follow that guidance. You follow the steps that that they have given you. Of course, doing it at your speed and at your standard, but continue to thrive and learn. It's all about lifelong learning. Helps you become a student of your profession. So if you focus on becoming a student of your profession, you can be a lifelong learner. Next is going to college. If you look at college classes, they set you up for the future. 7% of enlisted folks have a college degree. It opens so many doors for you if you have a college degree. And most of those people already came in from the military, from college into the military, or they're those senior NCOs that have had time to go to school. On top of that, for every year you're in the military is a 10%, or every year that you're in college is a 10% increase into your salary. That's estimated, of course. And then once you start becoming this lifelong learning practice, this is for the NCOs, the team leaders, and the squad leaders. You practice by mentoring these soldiers, or even mentoring family and friends and kids. You see these people struggling and they may need help. You take them under your wing and you mentor them. You teach them everything you know. You teach those APFT classes, the rifleman classes, the land navigation classes, and you learn from experience and you learn from teaching. And then when you're doing these counselings, you tell these soldiers about the opportunities available to them to go to college, to learn how to be a welder, or even opportunities available in the military to take these classes. That's your job as NCOs, and setting the example as lifelong leaders. So there's a few different ways that we can go to college to become lifelong learners, and not just college, vocational training, and that's through one of three programs. The first one is GI Bill. A lot of people know what GI Bill is, and what they don't understand is that it helps set you up for your future. If you decide to do it while you're in the Army and decide, hey, I want to get out after 4 years, I got my college paid for it, then do that. You can still use whatever skills you learned in the military to go work, and at the same time get paid to go to school. As a full-time student in Arizona, I'm making about $1,300 a month. That's more than some people make, working a 40-hour job. So use that to your advantage. It'll help you in your career. And once again, that's that 10% increase. And if you decide you need some help, there's another program available to you. And this is a big if you're at 10% disability or higher, and it's the Voc Rehab program. This program sets you up with a mentor, sets you up with a program of study that you pick. They set the steps for you to take these classes. They sign you up for classes. They pay for your books, and you still get your full BAH for the full time that's left on your GI Bill. And then on top of that, for both of these programs, there's a thing called work study that's available to you. This work study program pays you the minimum wage of your state, but it's tax-free. And while they're paying you, most of the time it's allotted for you to study. And for me, when I was working at the college, my time was spent being a lifelong learner, teaching these soldiers how to apply for these benefits, leading them to these benefits. Being a lifelong learner is important, not just to you, and for a second, you should be selfish about learning. There shouldn't be anybody that can stop you, whether it be family, friends, or leadership that's saying you don't have time for college, or to follow your dreams of vocational training, IT search, things like that. You should be selfish and do it for yourself. But at the same time, once you get this knowledge, mentor. It's so important. I said it before, but I want to stress the importance of this now. It's very important for you to be a lifelong learner, a lifelong learning leader, and mentor people so that we can create a better and more cohesive Army. So with all that being said, I've passed out handouts that provide the information to these different programs. I really want you to take these with you, study them, go on these websites, click around, see what you find out, and maybe one of these things will help you. The one thing I forgot to discuss was tuition assistance. Tuition assistance is something you can use while you're in the Army now. They'll help pay for your college, and if they don't pay the full amount, I'm sure none of us make more or too much money that we can't sign up for financial aid. So sign up for that financial aid so you get your full tuition covered for up to your associate's degree or bachelor's, depending on where you are at study. Take advantage of these programs available to you. And remember, do this day by day. You don't need to rush into school or rush into a degree program or work study program or anything that you don't have your heart into. But take it day by day. Take maybe 1 or 2 classes until you figure out what you really love. Remember, lifelong learning is about being the best version of you and opening your mind. Because at the end of the day, if you don't use your mind, you lose your mind. And this is very true. People that have gone to school and continue to learn, their mind works longer than people who don't. I mean, you use your own community as an example, and you'll probably find what I'm saying is true. So that being said, I like to conduct an AAR to see what I could have done better, what could be improved on, what is the good, what is the bad, and if there's any additional comments that kind of fall in between. Thank you for those comments. Next, I'd like to conduct the risk assessment for the end of training. The risk assessment was still low. Nobody fell, nobody cut their finger. Everybody went to the bathroom quietly and professionally, and I really appreciate that. So now this is done, I want to make sure, raise your hand if you don't have a handout. Awesome, that's good that everybody does. Please use those. And then I would like to ask before everybody leaves, are there any questions? If there are not any questions, please make sure you have all your stuff because I will be closing site. Thank you and have a great day.